I think that we have to start critiquing ourselves. And by the way, this is extremely popular with normal gays, with normal gays, with normal gays. The more I talk to normal gays about this,
what's a normal gay?
It's not a radical gay that says that a 6-year-old should have their boobs cut off. A 6-year-old should have their boobs cut off. A 6-year-old should have their boobs cut off, or get hormone replacement therapy, or get hormone replacement therapy, or get hormone replacement therapy. Look, I think the reality is that we have to have normality. That's what we were fighting for in 1993. We kept saying, we're normal, we're just like you. We just love somebody that of the same sex. Now I think, and this is an extremely controversial statement, I think that we have largely achieved equality in this country for gays and lesbians. And I think that the gay left knows that. And so therefore they're coming up with new gimmicks and fringe stuff to keep the money flowing and to keep the power going within the Democratic Party. If you are within the Democratic Party as a gay person, what you've brought to the table is organizing efforts, money and votes in the past. That's all fallen apart. You see normal gays voting for Donald Trump, for Republicans. That's been happening for years. And so I think it's time for the gay and lesbian community to police itself.
Hi everybody, this is Princess Ariel. Just wanted to kind of recap on the video that I just watched and kind of reflect a little bit on some of the language that was being used in the interview. I think the main one was the normal gay, which I just don't know what that means. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if he means normal by income inequality for the gay man, or if he's talking about melanated versus non-melanated income and inequality, because then I could kind of see a stretch there to where you could have your wealthy gay versus your, down here with the rest of us poverty gays. And how he quickly, politicized his whole entire statement, saying that kids shouldn't get their boobs cut off in the 6th grade, which just sounds ridiculous to me because nobody's doing that. That's not even a thing at 6 years old. And so just equating everybody to be gay when he's clearly talking about transgender people is just a sign of immaturity on his part. And just the rhetoric of it all, that it's so, pro Trump, which is everybody's right to vote whichever way that they choose, which I get that. I mean, but when you start throwing kids in there for trans kids without saying trans kids, because that's what you were saying, and you're really just kind of, saying that you want to police what trans people do with trans kids, or how people parent their kids without saying that. So since we're a part of under the umbrella of that whole thing, you're not really saying what you're saying. You're saying you're normal, but us trans people are not normal. That's all I got out of it. And I was just like, okay, if that's how you feel, but I mean, you're showing your true colors. And then at the end of the day, when the bottom falls out and you get banged upside your head because nobody's really on your side and your money is not going to save you, then don't come crying over here to me, because you made your choice. You went to the voting booth and you pulled that lever for that man. Maybe the rest of us voted in other directions. Some of y'all voted for Jill. Some of y'all could have voted for the professor. I can't think of the man's name right now. Or you could have voted for the woman. Everybody had a choice, whether they're normal gays or the Democratic gays, or whatever he's trying to say. I'm not really... You can't make this stuff up. So, as someone who lives and identifies as a transgender woman, I can clearly tell you from a small age that I always my brain always thought like a female and always identified with women without ever saying it and mentioning it to anybody. It just was what it was. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that. It took me almost 30 years to figure stuff out, just because of the environment that I had grown up in, which was a traditional Baptist environment, church environment. I was in church a lot. And it made life extremely difficult growing up, being policed all the time by the community of African American people that I grew up around, who saw me before I saw myself clearly. And I just feel bad for children now who are growing up with people, adults, who are literally bullying them. This is nothing but a bullying video, to a little kid, telling them that they don't deserve to exist. You know, making it such generic statements about cutting off your body parts, which that's not even a thing. You know, and what parents make, the decisions parents make about their children's health care, whether they are transgender or not, has nothing to do with, being normal gay or not normal gay. You don't tell somebody what they can and can't do with their body. Your president can't do it. Nobody can do that. Once you're an adult, you make your own decisions. If you're a little kid and you identify as male or female or any non-binary, anything in between, that's between you and your parent or parents to decide and help you guide you along that way. Not some random traditional gay or whatever to decide. And it's just crazy to me that some people are just punch drunk on stupid. Like, it's just dumb. And these people are clearly, thinking that their money and their influence is the end all and be all for this man who, they claim is, their man of the hour or whatever. As we see the world come crumbling down around us, it's really sad to see our tourism industry get destroyed, because that's what's going to happen. And it's happening. I've been watching those videos, and the ones on Florida, how the Canadians aren't coming down to vacation, how people aren't coming to Vegas around immigration, not wanting to get caught up in the ICE raids and stuff like that, coming from other countries just to vacation. So people aren't coming anymore. So you think about the people who have all the money, which are people like him. What are they going to do when the businesses dry up within the next year? Because people aren't coming here anymore. And you just might as well say the economy is going to be done, because you think of Las Vegas, I think of Phoenix, Arizona, I think of New York City, I think of Chicago. All of these places depend heavily on people coming from other countries to vacation, and they ain't coming no more, because they have seen all of the stuff that's going on, and they are terrified. And I just recently lost my job. I got laid off of my job of 12 years working just part-time retail, and the company's restructuring, and they just cut the legs right off underneath my program. I can't even say that I'm surprised. I just wish that it would happen like in November, December, so that would have given me a little bit more time. But it's June, and I got other prospects lined up. I'm, driving and doing other things, but my main job that I was depending on is gone. And as you see these traditional gays and stuff with all the money and all the prestige and their investments and stuff, all of that's going to dry up, because your tourist industry, which we heavily depend on, ain't coming. They're not coming because they're afraid of all of the immigration laws and stuff that are tied up. You're seeing Canadian people get locked up for expired, tourist visas and stuff. People saying you got too much stuff in your luggage, and they're accusing you of trying to stay in the country, and you could be from Austria and you could be as white as snow, and they don't care. So people aren't coming here. And for the young people who are seeing all of these very, sideswipe attacks and bullying, just know that that's what it is. and you are loved and affirmed, no matter what you identify as. We love you so much. And I was a kid once, just like you, scared and a little bit confused and not knowing who I could turn to or who I could trust. And I had a whole huge family around me, and I still was afraid. But I got through all of that, even with the suicidal thoughts and the struggles that I had at 17 and 16 was a very crucial time for me. Bullying in school, almost not graduating, and having to leave early at 17 and start college early. I just tested out early so I could get away from all of the verbal attacks and all the amount of little boys that were touching and groping me every day, and I just have to block it out. But I just want you to know that you are loved, and hang in there. You know, you can do it with or without your president, with or without your traditional gays. The rest of us are here. So, like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Follow me on all of my links. Just follow the link tree. Everything is there. Thank you again, and everybody take care. Be safe.
Dive into the magical world of Edwina's Bedtime Adventures by Ariel Williams. Join Edwina, the little hippo with a big imagination, as she drifts off to sleep and embarks on whimsical bedtime journeys. Whether she's saving the day as a brave firefighter, caring for patients as a nurse at Sunny Valley Hospital, or exploring the wonders of the jungle, Edwina's heartwarming tales will capture the imagination of young readers and spark endless bedtime giggles. This is an electronic book. You'll need an EPUB reader or PDF reader to enjoy this whimsical tale. Get your copy today at lulubooks.com or follow the link tree in profile to get your copy and let the adventure begin.
Gas Station Diaries by Adam King is a compelling collection of fictional stories drawn from the author's experiences working at a gas station during the tumultuous year of 2020. Set in the unassuming locale of Rainbow Land, the narrative unfolds in a place where time seems to stand still, yet unexpected drama and human encounters abound. This is an electronic book. You must upload an EPUB reader or a PDF reader to enjoy this book. Get your copy today at luloybooks.com and let the story unfold.
The Baker and the Handyman's Sweet Connection. In a quaint village nestled in a picturesque valley, there stood a small house in the shape of a mushroom. This whimsical home belonged to a young boy named Jamie, barely out of high school, who had a passion for baking. Inside, his cozy kitchen was always filled with the sweet aroma of cakes, cookies, and all sorts of delightful treats. What made his creation special was that each of his cakes was shaped like tiny mushrooms, a nod to his quirky home. Jamie's baking became the talk of the town. From birthdays to celebrations, everyone in the village adored his sweets.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
Sable's Song, A Siren's Journey to Joy. Once upon a time, in a small, worn-out town in Middle America, there lived a little child named Sable. Worn into poverty, Sable's body was frail, so thin that you could see her bones, but her heart was filled with an exuberance that not even hunger could dull. Sable was awkward, with dark, deep-set eyes that sparkled with innocence and wonder. Despite being born a boy, Sable always knew she was different. Inside her lived a girl, bright and effervescent, waiting to bloom.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
The Park of Secrets.
In the year 2060, near the heart of Florida, just a stone's throw from Disney World, stood a theme park unlike any other, a place known as the House of Secrets. It was a magical park, much like a state fair, filled with towering rides, carnival games, and parades that drew people from all over the world. But among the grand Ferris wheel and the colorful day parade, there was one attraction that outshined them all, the Parade Princess, a mesmerizing mermaid named Kenya. Kenya was a sight to behold. At 22 years old, fresh out of college, she had the kind of beauty that drew people to her like moths to a flame. Her brown skin glowed under the park lights, her hair a stunning mix of purple and pink that cascaded over her shoulders. Little pink hearts adorned her cheeks, and a ribbon of color stretched across her nose. But it wasn't just her beauty that made her special. Her eyes, big and almond-shaped, seemed to capture the hearts of everyone who saw her.
Discover the magic of the Park of Secrets. Step into a world of wonder with the Park of Secrets, a heartwarming tale by Ariel Williams that will captivate your imagination. This enchanting story is now available exclusively on Lulu Books.
The future, Daughters of Liberty, a new dawn. In 2040, the United States was a fractured nation, still reeling from the fallout of Project 2025, the catastrophic policy that had allowed a resurgence of systemic oppression. The Deep South had seceded once more, forming the antebellum republic, where human trafficking, racial inequality, and gender oppression became tragically normalized. The Second Civil War erupted as the rest of the nation sought to free those trapped in this dystopian regime. After years of bloodshed, Kamala Harris had finally led the Union to victory, restoring a fragile sense of hope. But the battle scars ran deep, especially in places like Louisiana, where the remnants of a broken society still lingered.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
A Dying Planet, The Last Harvest.
In the year 2060, Earth is a shadow of its former self, choked by pollution, endless concrete, and abandoned by nature. Only a small fishing village by the sea has managed to preserve the planet's last untouched forest. In this dying world, June and Win, two young girls and the last children in their village, cling to the remnants of hope and innocence. Win roams the forest, collecting the season's last harvest, while June sings songs that echo with a haunting beauty through the village.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.